Southern cornbread and a waffle maker. Let's make this happen today. Today's ingredients are simple. We have 1 1/4 cup of almond flour. We've got 2 tablespoons of mayo. We've got 1/4 cup of heavy whipping cream. A tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. We've got just about 1/4 teaspoon of salt. You can do that to taste. 2 tablespoons of melted butter, 3 good old eggs, and this is optional if you can find it or you have it on hand, this cornbread concentrate. It really adds a nice flavor to it. Like I said, totally optional, up to you. It's kind of pricey, and I just happen to have this from a recipe I made a while back. So there's the ingredients. Let's put it all together. Growing up, my grandmother just made the best cornbread, and I enjoyed hanging out with my grandparents on the weekends. My mom and dad would take me over to their house to spend the night, I guess to give them some time together without the kids. But I learned a lot there, and I learned that I love cornbread and milk. And in the South, that is top notch, and people have that dish different ways. They use buttermilk, sweet milk, or whatever, but needless to say, all of that is like extremely high in carbs, and I don't want that now. But I've come up with a keto version of cornbread that emulates hers pretty close, and I'm happy about that. I've made a video in the past dealing with this, but today I want to put a new spin on it and make waffles. I tried this out the other day just as an experiment to see if it would work, and it worked great. So I'm going to share it with you. You'll need a waffle maker, whatever kind you have, or a little mini waffle maker or whatever. That's kind of important with this dish. Otherwise, you can make it in a cornbread pan, the old school cornbread pan. And the only difference for the recipe will be you'll add like a teaspoon of baking powder to the mix. So anyway, if you don't have a waffle maker, not a deal breaker, you can just make a cake of cornbread. And I'll put the instructions for that in the description. We've got our ingredients, and all we need to do now is mix them up, you know, and so we'll just start dumping everything in the big old handy dandy Rubbermaid bowl. And like I said, I've got so many good memories of my grandmother with cornbread, and just so many recipes are like time machines. My wife started making cornbread for me when my grandmother passed away, and but yeah, it makes me think of her, and that makes me happy. And we'll add our butter in here, and our salt, and apple cider vinegar. And this, like I said, this is a kind of a special thing. If you don't have it, it's not a problem, but there's something really good about this extract, and it's got a little medicine dropper almost like here. So, and I just put like 1 squirt of that, maybe 1 1/2, because I like the flavor of that, and it gives it a corn flavor. But that is magic right there. So we're just gonna mix it up, and then we'll have our batter ready for the waffle maker. I guess I can't really call these waffles because they don't have cheese in them, so we'll call them cornbread waffles. I don't know, whatever you want to call them. But they do taste like cornbread, I'll tell you that much now. But you will blend it up here, get it all incorporated. And you know, there's a lot of recipes that's just like comfort food, and this here is one of those in my life. It just brings, like I said, it brings back good memories for me. And for this recipe now, when we put them on here, you can do this a couple ways. They're a little carby, so keep that in mind. If you're making like a sandwich out of them, you might want to cut it in half or whatever. But I'm going to use these for soup. So I'll just have a waffle. I'll probably cut it up in quarters or whatever and throw it in my soup or dip it in my soup. But use your imagination and do it however you want to. You can eat it just as a side, like like eating bread on the side. All right, my waffle maker's heating up. I've sprayed it with the nonstick spray, letting it get warm until the light comes on and all that good stuff, and then we'll measure these out and get them cooking. All right, green means go. Now I'm going to put them in there, and what I do is I use 1/4 of a cup as a measuring tool. So we'll get this right on target here. And the thing about the chaffle maker is it goes fast. I mean, it'll cook them in just a couple of minutes instead of time in the oven. You don't heat up the whole house and things like that, and it makes them waffly. Whatever that is. Quarter of a cup comes out about right for this one. Of course, you know, yours may be different if you use a full-size waffle maker or whatever, but just kind of smear them around in there, get them even. And for mine, it takes about 2.5 minutes after I shut the lid there. So I'll set a timer and get it going. And while that's cooking, let me just remind you to subscribe and like to the channel. I'm always doing stuff like this on here, and it's simple stuff. It's not anything really hard. And if you've been doing keto for any of my time, most of the time you'll have the ingredients on hand. Nothing really exotic or whatever. But yeah, like and subscribe. Give it the old thumbs up down there. Boop the button. Ha! Boop the button. You know what I'm talking about. And, you know, I appreciate you being here today. And also, you may not know that a portion of all of the money that comes from my YouTube channel, what little bit comes in, I donate to charities around me that are dealing with addictions and homelessness. So your viewing matters, believe it or not. And it's not a large amount of money that comes from YouTube, but it's a blessing to me, and I'm sure it's a blessing to them too. So. And the reason I do that is because I started this channel while I was overcoming alcohol addiction. And thankfully, I've been sober for a while now. And I do this on weekends just to occupy my time, to keep me busy and things like that. So it's helped me out a lot. And plus, it's helped me lose over 150 pounds. That's an added benefit, right? All right, timer just went off. Let's open this up and have a look. Oh yeah, those look nice. And I use a skewer. I've used this, showed this tip before on my channel, but I just use a skewer to pop them up and get them off there. I think this is one of the easiest ways I've found so far. It's just, you don't have to worry about scratching up your chaffle maker or anything like that. Now we'll start with the second batch. And the cool thing about this is, man, you can double this recipe. You can do some batch cooking here and take advantage of that. You can throw them in the freezer. I normally will eat a couple fresh off the chaffle maker, and then I'll put the rest in the freezer and take to lunch to eat with soup and things like that. They freeze well, so no big deal there. And anytime I can cook one thing, I can cook 4 or 5 things. Thing about being a blue-collar guy, man, you learn how to make every step count in the factory, because otherwise you're going to work yourself to death. And so anytime I can cook one, normally I cook several, because you figure you only have to clean up the chaffle maker one time after a whole batch instead of several times and things like that. Yeah, everybody loves cleaning, I know. Here we go, round 2. So here we have our final product, our Southern cornbread waffles. Let's give them a try and see how they taste. Oh yeah, you know it's my favorite time, taste test time. Let's give this a taste and see how we like it. Mama, I think you'd like this recipe a lot. I mean, it's your recipe, just modified a little bit, put my own spin on it, and man, that is so tender, and just that all the flavors of cornbread and an easy to make waffle. This will make a good bun. Like I said, it's a little carby, but if you want to eat with some soup or just as a bread side, cornbread side, this is going to be great. Hey, until next time, get you some cornbread, and may the Lord bless you.